Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna take a look at the Diancie that got newly released at the Go Fest in London and Osaka in the Open Ultra League. So, I guess this is a pay-to-win team here right now because you're going to have this Pokemon here, as I was in London, of course, to get this Pokemon here, and I was actually hesitating a little bit if I want to build this one for the Open Ultra League. But honestly, I looked at it and was like, in the Great League, we're going to have Carbink anyway, which you're going to see very shortly as well soon on my channel as well. I haven't fully XL Carbink now because I was in London. But here, as you're going to see already, Diancie actually has quite some play in the Ultra League. And this is something that I didn't expect. And you're going to see it throughout the video. Definitely stay tuned for that. This Pokemon actually was amazing. I was super surprised on how strong this Pokemon actually was because honestly, like, you don't really expect it too much anymore, like, you didn't really think about it, but there are so many Charizards, there are so many Pidgeots, there are so many Ice-type Pokemon, there is quite a lot of Pokemon that you're going to be able to completely destroy because they don't expect that anybody is running any kind of Rock-type Pokemon. What I didn't expect is that anybody would run the Gliscor here from the opponent, so that's not going to be the best one for me, but here we're going to encounter now the opponent's Registeel against us. This is going to be an awkward matchup, but we might be able to force the realignment here if we can, by going for 2 shields here against the opponent, going for the payback. But yeah, this team here going to have the Scizor of the double. We're going to have the trap in the back of our Diancie for anything that wants to swap into us, like any flying type Pokemon or whatever. And we're going to have our lead of the Buzzwole. This team worked out super well. Like, I went crazy positive. I think I went like 10 and 5 with this team or something. It was super wild because I did not expect this at all, but this team was super much, like, so much fun to play. You're going to see a lot of gameplay here today as well. As they're going to encounter now the Gliscor, as my opponent makes a great play here by shielding both of the moves, as they realize they're most likely fairly weak against this Pokemon. I have to go into my Diancie, and we're going to only charge up fairly slowly here with a Rock Throw. But I was able to catch the Earthquake here onto our Buzzwole, which is of course going to be able to resist it. And they're still forced to go for another charge move here, which is really nice, as this incoming Night Slash is not going to do enough. I can now farm them all the way down. They have the attack boost, but they're going to swap out into the, what's called the Jellicent here right now. Very bad timing by me. I could have went for one more fast move there, which would have been completely free. And I make this even worse here right now by not going ahead and go for the Rock Slide here. I could have just knocked them out most likely there and won the game, because I still think I would have survived the Night Slash there. Mostly, maybe I would have went down for the wing attack from the opponent there, so maybe I wouldn't be able to win this game, but I just misplayed this pretty hard there, so that was on me. Next opponent, Amazing Lead Force. If you see my team here already, you might see that Obstagoon basically has nowhere to go. Even the double matchup is not really ideal, as they're double weak to the fast move of mine. I can outspeed them as well. You're going to see me here staying a little bit because I don't really have the best answers for the Tentacruel, so I was able to get the debuff onto their attack. I was able to get some damage onto them and put them into range for 2 body stamps, which is basically the best thing that I could have done here. As I go for a Blizzard, fine for me. We are not having any freeze effects in Pokemon Go, which honestly would be really cool. I might want to do some theory crafting videos about the potential of like the PvP meta. For example, now recently, if you saw my video about it as well, the Generation 9 got like announced for the next season of Pokemon Go, and honestly, they have like the own specific thing called Terrestrializing in that generation, which basically allows you to change the type of a Pokemon to whatever you kind of want to, just like a single type, or give like a Pokemon double step, which is also really nice. Just remove a type if it was, for example, like the Terra form of the Diancie. If you go for the Rock type, for example, you would get double step on the fast move as well as Rock Slide, while you would lose the Fairy typing. And like, for example, you could also go for Terra Water, which just gives you a normal water type, but basically gets rid of both of your typings right now, changing all the defensive typings mainly, which is going to be a very interesting one, because it would allow you to have actual save swaps, just terrestrializing then and change your defensive typing with that. It would be such a cool mechanic. I really hope that this would come, but I might make some videos about it, looking a little bit deeper into this, just like a general thought here right now. Next opponent, very good lead for us. Buzzwole, by the way. If you have a Buzzwole, build a Buzzwole. Buzzwole is honestly one of the strongest Pokemon for the Ultra League. I think I used this Pokemon twice now this last 2 weeks, and like, it always was one of the strongest Pokemon that I like used in general. Especially in the lead, there are so many weak to fighting. There are so many fighting type Pokemon that are weak to Buzzwole, of course, which is even cooler because the main fighting Pokemon right now in the meta are Cobalion and Virizion, both of them getting completely destroyed by Buzzwole, which is just so nice. So yeah, definitely Pokemon that you should have. Here we're going to encounter the Sandslash, where we can still go for some double kick, and we're going to be able to get them fairly low as well. I can go for even more fast moves here, going for the payback now. This will do very much like a lot of damage here and allow me to farm them all the way down. Getting in the Charizard, and you know already, Charizard from the first game here does not appreciate the Diancie, and they're going to forfeit immediately. And I just made a screenshot for it, which is maybe I'm gonna post on Twitter, who knows, you might have seen it already, you maybe never seen it. Next opponent, we're going to have the Sandslash in the lead again, and a Tentacruel coming in. No, this is not the same guy, I think at least not the same guy, but yeah, two different games here. This one is definitely longer, which you can see here as well. This game definitely gonna take a little bit. I also don't get the debuff here this time around, but we're still gonna play it the exact same way as we played before. We will be able to go for the body slam against the opponent here. We should put them into range for another body slam, as they're gonna go for the Scald here, which is going to get no debuff, which is really important here because otherwise body slam would not get close to knocking them out here. Don't know if it actually does knock them out. They're going to use a shield, so you see already, it's a different game. They played it different, and I will be able to go ahead and let this move go through, allowing me to still get to another body slam and maybe force the second shield of my opponent, which I do, which is really nice, as I can go for another move, but they're going to swap into their final Pokemon, which is going to be the Jellicent, and I don't have an answer for this Pokemon anymore because our good friend Double is very low, and we're going to only have our Diancie here, and definitely Jellicent is the weakest link for us here, definitely the hardest answer for us, because it's going to core break our lead in our Pokemon in the back, but it's fairly rare to see it in the lead. I faced it one time in the lead, I'm not sure if it's in there. I had like 50 minutes of gameplay footage. This is just Ultra League for you, by the way. I saw like sometimes people just saying, oh, sadly the gameplay didn't get into like the video, which when we played, that's even happening for Great League, but for Ultra League, like you have to cut off nearly half of the battles usually because they just take twice as long as in Great League, which is kind of odd. So yeah, I did 3 sets. I'm fairly certain I went 10 and 5 with this team. So here we're going to now be able to go for the superpower, going to do some decent damage. I can farm them all the way down. We still have a superpower stored. And this Jellicent does not appreciate this double resisted move from Buzzwole, and we're going to be able to win this game with a few HP left. Next opponent, we're going to have Buzzwole. We're going to have a Poliwrath here. What's up, Poliwrath? This is definitely the best matchup for me for the Poliwrath, as I will be able to resist counter from the opponent, but still a Scald would do quite a lot of damage. They're gonna go for the bait though, which is a smart play, as we're gonna get out the Zapdos. In comes, of course, a Diancie. And as we've seen already prior, this is a fairly decent trap for flying type Pokemon. Thunderbolt comes through, still going to hurt quite a bit because Shadow Zapdos hits like a truck. It's wild how much damage this Pokemon can do. But we will be able to go for a Moonblast here, going to get the shield from the opponent, allowing me to go for a superpower here right now, which is going to get the second shield by the opponent. You're gonna go, of course, the debuff of our attack here, but if you don't get the debuff of Scald, I should be able to just still knock them out, but we get the debuff of Scald here, which I guess is odds, that's totally fine, but sadly we are not able to knock them out, and in comes now the Pidgeot from the opponent. I will be able to outspeed them here with our Double, being able to go for a Body Slam and getting some damage off before they can debuff my attack with their charge move Feather Dance, which is coming through right now. Definitely the play to go here right now, but I'm fairly certain that my Double here, Double is still going to be able to survive a Brave Bird from the opponent. But we will find out shortly, I would guess. I think that was a CMP tie though, was it? It's going to be a Feather Dance again, and it was a CMP tie. As our attack is now 4 times debuffed, they can still survive it, but I can swap out into the Buzzwole, reset that timer, and I'm going to be able to farm them all the way down here and just destroy them. Next opponent, Virizion lead. This is basically what I mean. This is a very decent matchup for Buzzwole, especially as you can go ahead and go for the lunge straight away, which I didn't do here because I was not capable of counting anything. This is not how you play it. I think I just didn't pay attention to the battle, to be fair. I'm sorry there. But lunge is going to go through here, going to do some decent damage. I can go ahead and go for another lunge here. This time at least we're going to go for the CMP tie, which is really nice, as this is going to knock them out. Gives me a ton of energy still left, and I can go for another lunge against the opponent's Ampharos here. This is going to be fine, as we can go ahead and get the shield from the opponent. We can go into our good friend Diancie, and Diancie is going to be able to take any charge move from the opponent here. Hopefully it's not a Focus Blast. It's still going to hurt, but not as much, as we're going to get out the Walrein. And we can even still take a charge move from the opponent here and still get to the rock side with our Diancie, forcing the final shield by the opponent here as he can swap out into the dub ball. This should be in range for 2 body slams and the farm down with my fast moves, so this should look fairly decent for us right now. The body slam is coming through, 2 body slams will be enough to knock them out from this range for sure, as we might even go ahead and go for the full farm down here actually. Let's see. You're gonna get the Icicle Spear against us, we can try to go for the full farm down and they're going to swap into the Emperors and we can go for the payback, and let's see that. Bye bye Emperors. And the opponent decided they had enough, they're going to forfeit. And we can move on to the next game. Next opponent, the Cobalion in the lead. This is going to be an interesting one again, very decent for us, and in comes the Mana Buzz. Honestly, I made a mistake here. Should have stayed in longer with my Buzzwole and just got all the energy in the world, because what is a Mana Buzz supposed to do here? And honestly, this is something that we most likely going to see as well for the Great League. I'm fairly certain that the Umbreon is going to now get way less play since Carbink is around, because it has literally no shot of even damaging this Pokemon. Here at least Mana Buzz would have the option to learn Shadow Ball if you wanted to, and might be a better play than the Aerial Ace right now. Like, okay, you don't encounter too many Diancie most likely right now, but I must say also don't encounter too many later on, but still a fun Pokemon to use. Like you see here right now, it is definitely way better in the Ultra League compared to the Great League. For the Great League video, I didn't even try to commentate it too much. A, because we kind of got hardwalled, which happens, but B, because it was just not really decent. Here, you're definitely still going to have some better bulk as compared to the Great League, where like the bulk was a little bit worse. And like this here also, right now you saw me using my Buzzwole basically to perfection, as we were able to get the debuff, swap out, have payback now for the opponent's Jellicent, do a ton of damage with that one, and we were able to take those serves way easier. But definitely Diancie, if you get it for the Go Fest, Ultra League is the way to go. There is literally no reason to keep it around for Great League. Ultra League is the way to go for this Pokemon. It's a ton of fun to play it. I'm most likely going to revisit it eventually as well, just because it was a lot of fun to play. Just trapping those flying type Pokemon right now, it's just great. Like honestly, I like this Pokemon quite a bit. When you're going to have the global Go Fest, you're going to love it most likely as well then. And I can definitely recommend you to try this Pokemon out if you have it then. But right now, I think most people don't have it. Most people weren't in London/Osaka, but definitely a cool Pokemon to play. Next one coming up, we're going to have the Swampert in the lead. Definitely where we want to see that, because it's going to be our best matchup with a Buzzwole here right now. I will be able to take 1 charge move from the opponent for sure, but no, not really 2 charge moves. I'm going to go for the lunge first, which is going to get the debuff onto the opponent's attack, allowing me to now go ahead and go for another shield. I actually can let this move go through here, and I can still get to the lunge in time, allowing me to get a shield advantage. And I think I might just take the shield advantage here, as this might be the best play I can go for. Let's see. We're going to be able to now let this move go through from the opponent. This is going to be the Hydro Cannon, and we can swap out into a Buzzwole there, trying to get some energy there. But in comes now the opponent's Pidgeot. Honestly, Buzzwole and Dubwole, honestly, I cannot really say the names together. But yeah, we're going to have here the Pidgeot from the opponent, where we can just take any move again with our Diancie. It's just a trap for basically any flying type right now. It is wild. They go for the Brave Bird. I don't really care too much, as we're going to see the final Pokemon from the opponent. And honestly, this game, I made a mistake, and you're going to see it later on as well. We're going to see the Moonblast coming through, going to do some decent damage, even though we're double debuffed. I'm going to shield this move up, because I feel like 1 Moonblast is the best thing that I can go for, but I'm going to swap expecting the opponent to swap. Great play by me. I'm going to tap on my own shoulder here for that one, but that was a great play by me. And of course, I can completely destroy my play just with 1 more move here. I should have just went for payback. I should have just went for payback here. Same goes for that. Like, the opponent was able to farm up to 2 charge moves, which is totally fine. But if I went for payback, I just do more damage than compared to the body slam. And as you're going to see right now, this is all we needed, because we can still go for a rock slide, but this is a double resisted rock slide, and they barely survived with 1 HP, and I'm going to lose this game just because I didn't go for the payback. My own fault. Only me that made the issues here, like the bad plays there from that. So definitely something that you don't have to do, just go for the payback, then you win this game, but I didn't, and I lost for that. Final game, Galvantula, horrific lead, really bad for us, but what can we do here still, we will find out shortly. we were able to take the bait from the opponent first game there, or like first matchup there, as they're going to now get the launch onto our Dubwole. They're going to swap out into a Drapion. It is not looking pretty here right now. They're going to be able to go for a crunch right now, which is going to be better off for us. We can still survive, then we can spam those body slams, but I kind of want to keep my Dubwole alive, as I feel like this Pokemon might still have some play later on, but we will find out shortly, I guess, as we're going to swap out into our Buzzwole, again, Dubwole and Buzzwole together on one team. It is not the best thing for me, but we're going to get the attack drop onto the opponent. I thought they most likely go for Stud Trade, but no, they were actually still going for the crunch. In comes most likely the worst possible Pokemon to encounter right now, the Cresselia. This is literally not what I want to face. This is literally the worst possible thing that I could have faced here right now. As I'm now 2 shields down, I go for another lunge. I'm of course going to shield this move up, but maybe, just maybe, it's still going to help me. We will find out shortly. We're going to see now that I am going to be able to not get to a move here, but we see from the opponent that they go for a Moonblast. This means they are not running Grass Knot. And this means also that Diancie is going to go to town right now. And we will see now the most greatest sweep by a Diancie, as they're going to be able to knock out already the Garventula. In comes the Cresselia, in comes the Rock Slide, in comes the damage output from my Diancie here. They go for the future side, which we predicted based on what they went for against our very low HP Dubwole. And we just go for a full farm down here, getting a triple kill with this Pokemon to end this video. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.